Hello and welcome again with this new episode of Bash for Remedies with Dr. Amit. And we are going to see cherry plum today. I couldn't finish off my earlier videos for quite some time, and now I can't control myself to make new and new videos. And this is the topic for cherry plum. It's the control. Every remedy has some or the other keyword that we can think about, and that can help us to memorize that remedy. There was one query right now. Today afternoon I was checking my WhatsApp, and Aditi had asked me from Delhi how to remember these remedies, how to remember. Tell us some techniques so that we can remember these remedies. I think I had made that video, but I would be making that video, or we'll be discussing that at length whenever we will start our online course. I know I am talking a lot about the online course, but definitely it will start. If you want to remember the remedies, the only or the first or the main key or hint or the clue or the technique that I can teach you is, don't remember the name of the remedy. Don't at all remember the name of the remedy. You don't need to remember which is the remedy for finding the goal of your life, which is the remedy when you get dominated by a dominant personality, and when you are a very docile person, which is a remedy where you have problems with finding your actual decision from various options. Don't remember the names of the remedies, because there is white chestnut, there is red chestnut, there is chestnut bud, there is sweet chestnut. So there are so many four chestnuts, and you will get confused if you focus on the name of the remedy. Instead of that, focus on the feeling or the mental state of the remedy, because that's something that is close to you. You are trying to find out a flower remedy for a particular mental state of either yourself or to about your family member or your friend or a relative or a patient. So you are trying to find out a remedy for a particular mental state or a mental symptom. Now try to remember a mental symptom or a state, and then remember the mental states of the remedies or the keywords of the remedies, not the remedy names, but the keywords. So you know now that cherry plum is for control. So whenever anybody has any problem with control, just think about cherry plum. So you don't need to remember cherry plum, but you remember about control. So this is the word which I will be uttering n number of times now in the next few minutes of this video, because you need to remember control rather than remembering cherry plum. Because once you remember control, then you can find out which is the remedy which has problems with control. So whenever the patient will start talking to you, uh, don't try to imagine the names of the remedies, because every line or every statement of the patient can make you think about a different remedy. So if patient utters 20 statements, you might think about 24 remedies. So don't do that. Try to find out what the patient is wanting to do, what the patient wants from you, what you need to increase in that patient, or what you want to decrease in that patient. So whenever there is a problem with control, whenever the patient says, I can't control my anger, I can't control my tears when I'm talking to people, whenever I see a sentimental movie, I just go on crying and I feel very ashamed and I feel very this thing. So I need to control my tears, I need to control my anger, because I just thrash somebody out of anger. I can just say something which can be hurtful for which can be hurting for a person, and then I repent. So whenever there is a problem with control, think about cherry plum. So whenever you want to give control, or when the patient is complaining that she or he has not enough control over himself or herself, cherry plum is the remedy. So control, 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 that's cherry plum. When you want to increase the control, or when the patient feels he doesn't have any control over himself, so you want to increase the control or give control to the patient. Control, control, control. That's cherry plum. But you need to remember this. You need to remember the keyword of the remedy, and then you will remember the remedy. You will quickly find out where you want to use cherry plum. Now you think about where at all you can use cherry plum in for the people around you. Now you lose control over your anger, and uh, you want to have that control. Use cherry plum. You have a habit of telling something, some confidential thing to your friend whenever you are gossiping over the phone, and you don't want to tell that thing to those friends because otherwise that will be a problem. Take cherry plum because you have a fear that you might lose control over yourself in that fit of chatting, and in that uh, when you are engrossed in chatting with friends, and you might just suddenly leak an information which you should not be doing at that moment. Take cherry plum. You are trying to do a diet and you want to control over your sugar cravings, and whenever you see any sweets, whenever you go to a nice buffet and at the restaurant, you can't control yourself but to go to that table where all the beautiful desserts are being served. Take cherry plum. You are trying to quit alcohol, or you're trying to quit tobacco or cigarette or smoking, but you can't control. And whenever you go with your friends and they are smoking, and then you can't control yourself, and then you just light your one cigarette, and then the one and the other and the third one. That's again a problem with the control. Check cherry plum. So cherry plum will help you to have control over uh, any of your either your act or your feelings whenever they are at that the control is at risk or at problem. Now, does that mean that if you take cherry plum you won't be able to smoke any cigarette or take any alcohol or this thing? No, it doesn't make your limb paralyzed, that whenever you go to grab a drink, it will not make your hand suddenly go paralyzed and you won't be able to pick it up. It won't happen. It will basically give you a hint in your mind that, boss, you don't need to drink this. You had decided not to drink this. Now that's something that the remedy can do. Uske baad, you will have to do the action of not picking up uh, that drink. But at least that control will be easier. You will be easy. It will be easier for you to tell yourself as well as other people that no, I'm trying to get out of this. Whenever you take cherry plum, it's one of the remedies of rescue remedy where it's been given in the emergency situations where there is always a possibility that you will lose control over your emotions or your actions, and you will just do some haphazard thing out of that emergency panic. So that's the typical remedy that cherry plum has. Uh, Cherry plum, like Sirato and cherry plum, these are the two remedies which have a special place in my mind or in my heart, because those are the two remedies which helped me to believe in black flower remedies, because they showed me a miraculous effect when I didn't believe in black flower remedies in my earlier days of practice. So there was, I always tell this case of cherry plum. There was a case of a lady who uh, had this anger issues, and she was very strict with her kid, and she used to beat the kid every day when the kid was doing homework, and the kid used to do any mistake during that homework time. She used to beat with anything that she could grab with her hand, and the child at times used to bleed. So she used to she said that I can't, I just lose my control. She was taken to, they felt that she has some personality disorder or some problems with the behavioral disorder that she has. She also used to abuse people if they used to on the streets where people used to they never used to follow traffic rules. In India, it's very common to find people who do not follow traffic rules. We usually just give some strange looks to these people, but we don't go and abuse them. But she used to abuse, and there used to be fights on the roads, and the husband used to be very in a tricky situation where uh, you can imagine what situation he would be in. And that was the thing which was going on. She was taken to a psychiatrist. He actually he had prescribed certain drugs, but she could not continue with those drugs. And the husband asked me whether can we do something for this. That was the initial days of my practice with flower remedies, 2003 2002, and I just knew few remedies. I didn't knew all 38. So I knew cherry plum, and I knew that cherry plum is for anger issues and for control, and I had only given her cherry plum. And I think holly, later on I just added holly, but cherry plum was given to her 4 times a day, and within a few months her anger issues completely they got relieved. She does get angry, but now she does not go violent. with the anger. She does not abuse people. She does not hit or beat her child now. And the bond between the mother and the child has really grown really well now because of cherry plum. So this was the case which actually helped me to believe in the effect of these remedies, because even I didn't expect this kind of effect when I had given that, because I hardly knew any remedies. I had just started with those remedies. So many of you are in that state that I was a few years back, that we know these remedies, we have heard about them, but we don't know whether they really work. So I always encourage people to, even if you know two or three remedies, just go on prescribing them wherever you find them appropriate. So whenever you feel any person has problem with the control, just try to prescribe cherry plum to all those people, and try to find whether they are giving effect. If they are not giving effect, then possibly they need some different remedy, not cherry plum. So cherry plum is not indicated. So just use these remedies. You might know just a few, but try to use those few whenever you find find indications of those remedies in the people around you. So use these remedies without thinking about uh, success and failures. Whenever you get success, that remedy was perfect. If you get failure, then the remedy was not right. You need to find some other remedy, and possibly you will learn the other remedies. You will learn when to not to use cherry plum. That's the learning that you will get possibly through the failures. So this was cherry plum. So cherry plum is for control. So whenever you want to give control over emotions or your behavior or your actions, it's cherry plum. Whenever you want to, whenever a person feels that he might lose, there is a fear of losing control over himself or herself, then that's again cherry plum. I hope you liked this video. We will be posting videos now way more frequently, and do subscribe to our channel to get regular videos. Do give me your inputs through our email ID, which is soruclinic@gmail.com. And do share these videos with your people. Try to find more and more people to subscribe to our channel, because we want to start our course as early as possible. Thank you.